the
right,
strongest, the strongest, perhaps the strongest defense that the
right,
Delhi police at the moment is justifying its force is that
right,
they were attacked first, that there was the violence had broken out, that they were stone pelting. This is what
right,
I want to play the the devil's advocate here.
right.
To
No, no.
the Delhi police has said very clearly that the march was declared unlawful and prohibitory orders were in force, as we have discussed earlier. So
Right.
they welded the barricades, and then these welded barricades were breached by the protesters, thus
Hmm.
prompting us to take this decision because of the scale and crowd control of it. This is what is being said by
And
the Delhi police, by the
it's,
commissioner, saying that okay,
it's
while there have been, there was very little cooperation from the protesters. Okay, while there have been okay few incidents that should not have, there was excessive force in few incidents,
yeah,
referencing ACP Lamba. Uh,
yeah,
Barring that because it's given, it's such a spontaneous evolving this thing, one has to make a decision on this spot, and there were so many thousands of protesters, getting so close to the parliament, we had a duty to save we this was the best course of action we had to take. This is what the Delhi police justification is
the
with
Delhi
putting
police,
forth.
right? They have also. I think they had issued a statement that they had to use mild force. If this is mild force, I don't know what the actual force would be. Used by the Delhi police. See, it is an obviously very irresponsible statement to make. And now that the matter has reached the court and will be reaching the courts in different aspects, like we discussed, um, the questions that have to be raised are like there has to be a very independent investigation into it, and the material facts have to be dealt with as they are. The courts have simply told you that you need to follow procedure, right? The courts have told you that you follow procedure. To disperse people also you have to follow procedure. I may ask, they're saying that people were throwing the barricade inside. Did they provide any barricade maps? Did they issue any communication whatsoever that when they are going to take the action? That's the most important thing. The people who were gathered in Jantar Mantar. So what had happened was, to give a little context, on the day of the march, the government wasn't decided that they'll be talking with the CJP people. There'll be talks with the CJP people, and the CJP people made an official announcement that the protest is going to be delayed by 2 hours. Correct? Which I do think was a blunder to me. That should not have happened. What that did was, because of them delaying the 2 hours, there were already people who were ahead slightly, who were waiting for the march to start. Obviously, they're there. It's Delhi summers. They must have, I don't know what. Then they started proceeding towards the Sansad Marg. And when they start moving towards the Sansad Marg without any communication, without any measure taken to stop them, to make sure that they take the exits, to tell them where the exit is in the first place, they start beating these people up. And then when they start beating these people up, the news goes behind, people start coming piche se, and then they also start getting beaten up. They had welded and put barricades so that more people can't come in. Mind you, they knew the thousands of people who were already there and who are going to do their march. That is where the question lies. That they always knew that the this is going to be the number of people that are going to come in. And the responsibility of the courts, of the police, sorry, as per the courts also, is to make sure that in such a crowd also people are able to protest. Why are we forgetting that in the first place?
Absolutely.
A police's duty is also to ensure that the constitutional right of a protester is maintained. If you have an order restricting people to not gather, right? You also have a duty that people, they are dispersed in a way where they can go and then they can again express their freedom and expression in their own ways. That expression can't happen if you just start locking them in and detaining them. And there was no protocol that was followed. Absolutely no protocol that was followed. Women were being detained by male cops. We don't know the identity of the people who were just like coming in and started like hitting. I was there. There were people in civilian clothes who were throwing stones from the police's side as well. And it's very shameful. And actually, I've been that day I had to unfollow a lot of people on Instagram. Some of my very dear ones who were just like shamelessly posting videos of some singled out video of some guy throwing some stones at it. Doesn't matter. If I'm saying this, it's not like we don't have to hide from the fact that some stones may have been thrown. They were thrown, but who started it? You'll put people in a cage, then you start hitting them, you start putting tear gas, and then this is not what you anticipate.
So you have essentially created, you have also created an environment for a stampede. If I'm
Exactly.
so, when you've created such an environment for a stampede, are there any laws against, like this is very clear, right? That you've literally, because people are running, they're dispersing everywhere, but they don't have anywhere to go. So you've
Right.
risked the lives of people, right?
Right. It's actually the laws are framed in such a way that they're not as they don't list as to what are the things that, oh, this a police person can't do. It's more of that when the police does these things, they have to be in the ambit of certain reasonableness. And that reasonableness has been explained by the courts, which I had also sort of like brought up in the beginning, that they have to be before the least, like I said, the least harmful method has to be preferred. And like coming to a point where you have to use a lathi, that has to happen after such a long time. That cannot happen at a nascent stage. What the police did, and I don't want to mince my word in this. They have manufactured this. They brought people in. They knew what was going to happen, and then when they start hitting people, some people started running. Some people started retaliating. Then they claim them as being a dangerous crowd, and then they use that to further just absolutely hurt them in ways in which they cannot do. As simple as that. Like there is no way to do so.
Now,
The
sorry. No, no, please finish the thing.
No, even I remember there's a case of the Delhi High Court of called PV Kapoor versus Union of India, right, where police had taken action against people who were protesting against the Mandal Commission, that anti-Mandal protests that were happening in Delhi.
Hmm.
Even then, right, the court had said that without denying the stones that were thrown, a mere presence of any unlawful assembly, right? So this assembly, in police's terms only, it's an unlawful assembly, right? It is an unlawful assembly. And upon the failure of the police to disperse it, so first comes an assembly of people,
Hmm.
right? Which have gathered as per the constitution, they have gathered to express their freedom of speech and expression. That gathering becomes unlawful because the magistrate issues an order saying that this is 163 has been imposed, five or more people cannot be gathered. Now, after this, when people do gather, the police has to take action as per 148 of BNSS.
Hmm.
But 148 BNSS does not mean lathi charge or tear gas. It means uh, you have to take reasonable measures. What that reasonable measure is what has also been explained in the judgment that I'm just saying. It's saying that first you try to disperse people, but even in your failure to disperse, there is no way you can justify very serious or grave measures being taken. you have to exhaust all means before doing so. Measures were not exhausted. Not a single water cannon was shot. No shields were used. Nothing. They saw people. They got their orders from I don't know who, from where, and this is so they are claiming, right, that the magistrate has passed this order. Has that order been made public? No. And I hope these questions are raised in the court,
Absolutely.
because now what the court's role is. Obviously, accountability has to be asked with the union minister, the government, and all of that. And it's our duty actually to build that pressure on the government to tell us what is your basis of this. But the court's duty is to investigate in such a way where they use the CCTV footages. They ask them to give them the communication that they used. What are the due process that they have taken? Do they have any proof that they warned the protesters? Nothing of that sort. It, it's a very, I won't be an idiot to say this, that if it goes to the court and the court does order an independent inquiry in this, the Delhi police has is completely in the wrong, and the steps that they had taken is not in sync with any judgment, with any law, and it is completely unreasonable what they have done.
So,
And this is us talking from a very legal standpoint. Humanitarian standpoint, we all know what this government and the state is capable of doing now. It has gone beyond us.
because I think you've mentioned that the use of excessive force is evident. Now, I mean, there is a precedent here. I mean, this is Anita Thakur v. State of Jammu Kashmir 2016,
Right,
where there was like peaceful, like now peaceful is this judgment has basically said that peaceful assembly warrants no force at all. Number one.
right,
Now, supposedly a crowd turns violent. Just
right.
reasonable force is justified. Now,
Correct.
but in excess or continuing after the crowd has been dispersed or control has been regained, now that
Right.
violates human rights and human dignity. Now, the courts
Correct.
awarded the compensation to the petitioner who themselves had actually been violent and pelted stones. But because the police
Right.
response was so disproportionate, they were given compensation. Now, keeping this precedent in mind, does that
Right.
mean that the protesters that who have been severely injured have the right to claim
Right.
for compensation by the Delhi police?
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely, they do. And this is the very basis of also why the petitions are filed in the first place. The PILs have been filed in the courts in the first place. It is not just about putting some limelight on what the police has done. They have they have all the right, and a citizen, regardless of the police or not, if the state has taken any adverse measure against them, be it any department, where they have been harmed in a way that is not in sync with the constitution, they deserve a compensation. And the police has failed to do so. Even the judgment of Himmat Lal Shah versus Commission of Police. What does that say? That says that there is a right to the protesters to protest. Now, if they are protesting and you anticipate that the sort of it might become violent, or it might affect the public disorder, it is not on the protesters. It is the police's duty to regulate the protest. Can the police tell us if they have taken any regulatory measures in this protest, or anybody who defends the actions taken by the police? In what way was it regulatory? Were they trying to regulate the protest? In fact, if they had opened the exit gates, the crowd would have scattered.